My husband blames me for his illegal actions and his mom says I should get used to it. I'm done being his scapegoat. I have been married to my husband for only a month now, but he already seems like a completely different person than when we were dating. He no longer cares about my needs, and gets upset whenever his aren't met. I was sick after our honeymoon, so he had me go into the bedroom and actually locked me inside, saying he couldn't risk getting sick himself. He only delivered canned food and takeout for a week for me to eat, until I managed to convince him I was better. As soon as I got out, he asked me to cook him something because he was hungry. It has been really rough, but nothing at all compares to what happened a few nights ago. I was asleep in bed when my phone started ringing. I answered it, and my husband told me he was outside and he had been in a car accident. I quickly got out of bed and rushed outside to check on him. The moment I got outside I saw a police car with its lights on. I ran over towards my husband's car to see if he was there. The next thing I know, a pair of strong hands grabbed me from behind, and slammed me down onto the hood of the car. I was so scared, and within a few minutes I had been handcuffed, and placed in the back of the cop car. I was still only wearing my nightgown, and the strap to it was falling and left my chest exposed. I started crying, struggling to fix it while my hands were behind my back, and wondered where the hell my husband was. Why would they arrest me? I started to worry they were going to take me to jail, while I was practically naked. I watched as the police officers were talking to my neighbor, pointing at the car that had crashed into his tree. I wasn't wearing my glasses, so it took me a minute to make out that the tree had fallen over, and it looked like it had landed on my neighbor's house. I learned later it was only a half hour, but it felt much longer than that when a police officer finally came over to talk to me. He told me that they had been talking to my husband, and he insisted that I was the one driving, and crashed it into the tree, causing severe destruction of property. I started crying again, and couldn't even form a full sentence. I just babbled that I didn't do anything wrong. He looked me over and asked if he could fix my nightgown, and I nodded yes. Afterward he said, "Look, your husband reeks of beer, looks a mess, and it is his name that is registered on the car that crashed into the tree. You look like you just woke up. Was it your husband that was driving the car, or was it you?" I told him it wasn't me. I told him my husband called to tell me to come outside, and as soon as I did they arrested me. The police officer sighed and told me to get out of the car. He took the handcuffs off and told me I was free to go inside. As I walked back towards my house, rubbing my wrists, I saw my husband being taken to the same police car in handcuffs. He was yelling at me to tell them the truth, that it was me who was driving. He called me a B right as the police officers locked him inside their car. I rushed inside and locked the front door. A few hours later, I was unable to fall asleep, so I was watching TV, when my phone started ringing. My husband was on the other line, and immediately laid into me. He called me all kinds of nasty words. I wanted to cry, but I was too angry at him as he continued to ask why I didn't just take the blame. Now he was in the drunk tank, and would get a DUI, on top of the damages for our neighbor's house. He said I had the better job, and could have afforded everything more easily than him. He said it was all my fault, and that I was an awful wife. As soon as he asked me to come bail him out, I snapped. I told him there was no way I was going to come and save him from jail when he so easily was about to send me there, for his own selfish reasons. I asked if he would have come to bail me out if the roles were reversed, and he said probably not to save money, but only because he thought it'd be easier for me as a woman, since the women's cells are easier than the men's. I called him a hypocrite, and said maybe we both needed time away from each other, to reflect on our individual situations. Then I hung up on him. The next morning I got a call from my husband's mom, telling me I was a nasty piece of work, selling my husband out and abandoning him to the system. I explained to her my side of things, and his mom said that if what I said was true, then she was sorry it happened to me, but I still had to be on my husband's side because we are married. She explained that men in their family just tended to act out, and do stupid things when they didn't get enough attention. I asked if her husband did similar things to her, and she just got quiet and told me I'd get used to everything. The thing is, I don't want to get used to this. I don't want the life my mother-in-law said I would have, as long as I am married to her son. I thought this would be a mutual relationship, just like when we were dating, but it seems like I am only his scapegoat when things go wrong. I refuse to find out what will happen to me next if I stay. I plan to pack a bag and stay in a hotel for the time being, but am unsure of what to do next.